Tropical Storm Barry remains perched off the southern coast of Louisiana this morning and is still gradually intensifying now with winds of 60 miles per hour and a pressure of 998 millibars, a tropical storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale. 28.1 degrees north and 90.4 west, and this is the CDPS scale right now for its potential landfall in Louisiana on July 13th. That's tomorrow now. Stage 3 on the CDPS, with rainfall still being the biggest threat from Barry, with up to 20 inches likely in parts of southeastern Louisiana. So again, there's its current position represented on the map. This is as of 9 a.m. Central Time this July 12th. And there is still the potential that it could become a hurricane as it tracks inland. It's 84 miles from Grand Isle, 130 from New Orleans, 168 from Baton Rouge, 173 from Lafayette, and 222 from Lake Charles. So those numbers are whittling down as well, especially for those areas further west. Hurricane warning in effect for intracoastal city, the Grand Isle, and tropical storm warnings in effect for large areas there, as well as a hurricane watch and a tropical storm watch well towards the east, extending all the way up to the Mississippi-Alabama border. A storm surge warning is also in effect for intracoastal city to Shell Beach, and a storm surge watch for Shell Beach to the Mississippi-Alabama border and Lake Pontchartrain. So storm surge could reach 6 feet in some of those areas. Total rainfall in the next 5 days, you can see it represented on this rather jumpy graphic that we're still yet to fix here, but you can see any of those pink areas represent well above 10 inches of rain. You can see quite widespread how that might be materializing there, with maxima in parts of Louisiana possibly up and maybe even above 20 inches in isolated areas. Sea surface temperatures for Barry right now are warm, and that is one factor in how it can get that extra energy to produce all of that rainfall. 28 or 29 degrees Celsius at least underneath the storm. So this is the GFS model taking it into land on Saturday. The tropical storm force winds mainly on the eastern side, you saw there the green areas, but looked like they were extending just as it was making landfall. We do anticipate that Barry will be intensifying all the way up until its landfall, and if it did happen to get to hurricane status, it looks like it's going to be a rather disorganized one, and that could produce different hazards that we wouldn't quite expect, with other storms possibly a wider wind field in some areas. These are the chances of tropical storm force winds as it stands right now. 84% in Morgan City, 75% in Lafayette, 72% in Baton Rouge, 61% in New Orleans, that's more than half chance, and Lake Charles at 50% of tropical storm force winds, so certainly take those warnings seriously. These are the local National Weather Service offices. Tallahassee calling for a high chance of rain, highs into the low 90s. Mobile showing the latest information on Barry. This is New Orleans showing you the flash flooding threat on Friday, which is very high for a large area, you can see there on the screen. Lake Charles talking about the potential for tropical storm force winds or even hurricane force winds in the red zone there. Houston talking about another hot day, temperatures up into the high 90s in the area. And this is National Weather Service Jackson showing the significant rainfall threat in the red zone there. This is the latest satellite imagery of what Barry's been looking like this morning. If you saw our live coverage last night, most of the terrible weather associated with the storm was associated on the southern side, and that is still the case today. Very dry on the northern side as we wake up this morning, and this is why on the water vapor imagery you can see that dry air still dominating the northern side of the storm over Louisiana and out over some of those waters. Some of the band from Barry, though, extending all the way over towards Texas. We'll have another update on the Force 13 channel later on today. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle. It's at Force 13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. You can also contact me on Discord. It's Fool13 at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype. You can also find our server link to our Discord server for tropical weather chat in our description.